Hey there, Star Stuffs! I am your host and heartist, Ash Archambault of the Creator Being Podcast. Welcome here to this space where you will be reminded that you are a masterpiece in progress because your life is a work of heart. You're going to be reminded that you are a living legacy and have everything in this now moment to create the life you want to experience. Right here during this show, we are going to go into practices, and I'm going to guide you to help you guide yourselves into greater experiences of personal freedom and connection to the creative force of the universe. We're going to practice trust falling with ourselves and the universe, and it's in this beautiful space that we can honor our humanness, our uniqueness, our connectivity to all other beings and to the loving, infinite, divine universe that is here for us. So join me, Star Stuffs, on the Creator Being Podcast. Let's go. Welcome back to Creator Being, my friends. Today's about open heart health. Oh yeah, we're gonna deep dive into our hearts. It's gonna be so sweet and nice. I am so happy to be here today, you guys. It has been a long hiatus for me from creating these episodes, and today we back, and I wanted to share with everyone, I went on this incredible trip to Bali. I had never been there. It really is just as magical as everyone says that it is. I went with this group called Humans I Trust, and it was like just incredible soul family, and the facilitators and everyone there were just incredible. Check them out, Humans I Trust. I just wanted to start off with that because I have such a tremendous amount of gratitude. Love in Bali was just like in the air, man, like in the earth, everywhere, everyone around me. And it was such a nourishing experience. And I heard this quote while I was in Bali from a man named Gene Keys. People don't need help. They need love. They need to be reminded of what it feels like to be in the presence of love. Oh, just gorgeous, right? But I want to talk a little bit more about how we have this relationship with ourselves and how we heal ourselves through love. And so I want to redefine what healing means here in this podcast. And this is completely from my own experience, but here is how I would define healing. Healing is simply reconnecting to the parts that have unconsciously or consciously been disconnected within us. Love is this force of connection. Love is the thing that will connect us, will reconnect us to ourselves and to other people and to the divine. You know, I don't think I've talked about this yet on my podcasts, but I've now logged over probably 25,000 hours of quote unquote inner work. And I mean self-healing practices like EFT and tapping and different kinds of meditations and, you know, direct attention on my feelings and sitting and feeling my feeling and offering it all up to God. And I've taught this to other people. And I've really, really, really come to just cherish this process. And that is what I want to share here with you guys. This process of how we really can heal this trauma, how we really can break cycles and unearth our own patterns. But we don't have to do so in a way where we have to subscribe to suffering. We can do so in a way that's deeply loving to ourselves because, guys, life is friggin' hard enough. Am I right? Yeah. We have this responsibility to ourselves to love ourselves very deeply. We have a responsibility to love and be open to receiving love from other people as well. And we also have the responsibility of being open to receiving the love from the divine, from spirit, from God, from the universe. And now more generally in the public, we are having more conversations about healing and about trauma and about breaking cycles. And the thing that is going to connect us, is going to reconnect us, is the force of love. Period. Love is a force. And how do we access that love? How do we connect ourselves? Well, we connect ourselves within ourselves by opening our hearts. That's the place inside of us where we connect to love and so much more. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But Ash, why is it so hard to keep our hearts open? Why aren't they just naturally open? Well, darlings, because you know as well as I that the more we go throughout this human experience, it's like we just welcome in all of the things that shut us down, our hearts down. We compete with everyone. We compare ourselves. We allow our own inner critic to cripple us, to stifle us, to have us play small. We buy into this story that we have to earn everything that comes to us. And so if it's not hard, if we're not struggling, if there's not some force behind it, then it's like we're not working hard enough. We're not productive enough. We're not earning our way into whatever it is that we're trying to conquer. And so all of this stuff is the gack, the slime, the caustic stuff that really closes our heart. And actually the thing that closes our hearts the most is doubt. Oh, doubt, this form of fear. It's the thing that it's like battery acid for our hearts, man. It's doubt in ourselves, doubt in other people to show up for us, doubt in the possibility of God and of hope and of joy. All of that, that's what closes us down. And so it's so easy to let the stress of everyday life, to let overwhelm, to let fear, to let all of these lower vibrational things and situations and constructs and patterns, it's so easy for us to close our hearts. But what I'm saying is that it's actually quite easy to open them. And it's a vital skill that we have to learn how to do. I want to offer today a way into that, a couple ways into opening your heart. Okay? I've really come to understand that opening my heart, listening to my heart, actively purifying my heart through the process of my emotions being purified with the power of my attention and my choice, and expanding my heart center is genuinely the key to healing or up-leveling or expanding or transforming or integrating or whatever it is that you want to put a name for it on. We got to go through our heart center. Our heart center is this place in our body. And yes, I'm talking about heart center in terms of chakras. Yes, I'm calling it an energy center. But it's this place that all of us can feel, whether you want to call it that or not. And I'm going to talk about that today. But I want to start off with a little story. This is one of the first questions that Indigenous healers asked their patients as an intake. Okay, if someone came to them with an ailment or complaint, they said, "How long has it been since you've sung? Have you been dancing at all? Have you been participating in life in our community?" What brilliant questions. Truly. I know maybe some of you don't personally love expressing yourself through song and dance, but hear me out here. Singing and dancing and enjoying music are our first forms of self-expression. You see this with babies, you guys. Before their speech or real any advanced form or even like rudimentary form of communication, babies are dancing to music. They're moving. They're making sounds and singing along. This is so elemental, is the word that comes to me for us. And it's deeply connected with our hearts because singing and dancing is an expression of joy. When you're doing those things, it means your heart is open. So of course healers would be like, oh, are you doing these things? I need to know if your heart's open. Right? When I was working for Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies Kids programs as their director, we would go into schools and we would have an activity called Heart Songs. Okay, where we would put our attention in our hearts. Part of our daily practice with the kids was an actual practice of heart opening and going into our heart centers, which you guys get to do today. I'm going to do it with you. It's so great. But anyway, we did this heart song practice, and the whole concept was that you can create freely without any judgment or, structure. Just create from your heart. Like we would silence our bodies as best as we could. We would go into our hearts, and then the kids would be encouraged to create from that space. And oh my gosh, like within 15 minutes, you see all these beautiful pictures, these poems, these writings, these new games that these kids had created. And it was very easy for most of the kids to do this, And so we see that when we are young, we're so connected to our hearts. We really are. And then this process happens, right? Where we slowly get disconnected as we integrate into society. Our glorious heart centers are our highest currency here on the planet. Hear me out. It's something that we all have inside of our bodies. And it's this magical, mystical space that is invaluable, where heaven and earth meet. Boop, boop, our top 3 parts of our chakras and our bottom 3 parts of our chakras or energy centers meet in our body. It's this space where all of our emotions, in order to be purified, have to go through our heart center. It's this place where powerful alchemy happens in our bodies. And it's where we most acutely meet both our divinity and our humanness. And it's where, in many traditions, it has been said, and I can attest from my own personal experience, like that this is the place where like God speaks to you through. God speaks to you from your heart. And well, we're going to talk about that more here later on. The thing is that if you want to survive as a creator being in this planet, you got to keep that place open for business. And this is a skill set. This is something that we don't learn as children, as adults. It's not in our education system. It's something that we're having to seek out. But hey, y'all are here right now. Perfect. We're learning it together. This is why I do this podcast. And the thing that keeps the door of the heart open, it's love, you guys. It's love. I promise you, that's the grease that keeps opening the windows and all of the fences and all of the doors around our hearts. In the last episode of this podcast, it was called Not Your Mama's Self-Love. And in that, I talked about how self-love is about loving yourself akin to how the divine loves you as a child of this universe. It's allowing yourself to be perfectly imperfect. And it's about practicing deep belief and affirmation that you are enough in every way right now. Which, if any of you know anything about doing any sort of affirmation work, it's not just like, oh, I'm a money magnet and I say it a billion times and then I'm a millionaire. No, like what happens when you do any sort of affirmative work with yourself and in your heart, all the things that are resisting that have to come up and be dealt with. And so you still have to go through all the layers of the cake. But when you're actively working on this belief and this affirmation that you are enough as you are and loving yourself as you are right now, then again, this stuff just shifts. Boom, boom, boom. The stuff that needs to come up that's been resisting is just like boop, boop, boop. And it's right there for you to see, which is so incredible. It's so powerful. And I'm so grateful that I get to see it as opposed to having it be unconsciously operating in me and limiting me somehow, right? And this is why open-heartedness is a skill for us to develop. And there's so many different ways to develop open-heartedness. I wrote this article about open-heartedness being vulnerability 2.0. You can check it out. It's on my Substack. And also a version of it was published by Elephant Journal. Love them. They're so, so amazing. But I wanted to read a little excerpt of that article here today because I think it really sets up this very practical application of what open-heartedness is and how we can start doing it for ourselves. And from a more therapeutic lens. What I want to do more and more in this podcast is keep addressing this intersection of our spiritual experiences with our mental health. So this is very specifically that. Okay, here's the excerpt, my friends. There are many, many ways to open our hearts, which range from physical yoga practices, like heart or chest openers, to meditative practices, like imagining a light radiating from your heart, to even thinking about someone that you love for a prolonged period of time to sustain positive emotion. The HeartMath Institute helps explain what's happening with our heart when we practice heart coherence, the clinical approach to heart opening. Heart coherence is a state of cooperative alignment between the heart, mind, emotions, and physical systems. During times of stress and painful emotion, small or large, the rhythm of our hearts becomes erratic and disordered, which in turn impacts our brain and its higher cognitive functions. This limits our ability to feel clear-minded, make effective decisions, and rationally reason with others. In contrast, when we learn to help our hearts maintain rhythm coherence, our entire mind and body reap the benefits. We feel more emotionally stable and we can sustain positive states for longer periods of time. The renowned HeartMath Institute's Doc Childry says this: whatever techniques you practice, realize that the message of the heart becomes clearer when the mind is quiet. And in order to truly quiet the mind, we need to bring the head into alignment with the heart. Dr. Joe Dispenza piggybacks on that, saying heart and brain coherence is the process whereby we learn to self-regulate, developing our ability to generate emotions from within rather than waiting for something outside of us to dictate how we feel. But really, what is open-heartedness? It's a quality that we can develop, and it's associated with so much good, like being kindly candid, sincere, forthcoming, and having an agility with responding to the emotional appeal of others. John Wellwood, a clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, and author of Journey of the Heart, The Path of Conscious Love, offers a deeply inviting expression of open-heartedness. To live with an open heart is to experience life full strength. Craig Tunder, a somatic psychotherapist in a private practice in Oakland, California, describes the heart as the primary organ of transformation of self, other, and the world. It is the organ of connection and relationship. This fact informs a therapist to perceive, soften, and open his or her own heart qualities as an essential part of the therapeutic work. With the current lens of psychotherapeutic thinking and theory so actively focused on neuroscience, the significance of the heart is often overshadowed or lost. Thankfully, the science of the power of the heart is gaining traction thanks to the people that I just mentioned. But yes, it's true. The heart center has always been this place of wonderment and curiosity across ancient spiritual traditions and cultures. And that's what I want to share a little bit more about with you guys right now. Because across many spiritual traditions, this feeling of liberation, of oneness, of heaven on earth or nirvana, it's typically been described as being experienced in the body in the heart center. What? Yes. And here I just want to give you a couple examples of how important the heart has been across cultures, across religions, across spiritual traditions, okay? Mother Teresa said this: a clean heart can see God, can speak to God, and can see the love of God in others. A joyful heart is the normal result of a heart burning with love. In the silence of the heart, God speaks. In Christianity, there's the prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and it has been a magnet for miracles. I don't know about you, but when I was a cancer patient as a kid, I had Ewing's sarcoma, and I had this prayer group in my grandma's Catholic church that would pray to the Sacred Heart of Mary and to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And when I was in that church, I had this experience. I was having like nerve pain up and down my leg. The tumor that I had was in my sacrum, and it was pressing on my sciatic nerve. And so I was having all this nerve pain for months. I was 12 years old, and I looked up at my mom, and all of a sudden I felt this white, hot feeling in my body. And then the nerve pain just stopped. And I looked up at my mom and I said, "Mom, something just happened in my leg." And she's like, "What? What do you mean?" And I told her about it. And then I didn't have scans for like another 2 months, but at my next round of scans, like my tumor was gone. It was completely gone. And so this prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, I mean, I have no doubt in my body and my mind, and I will share more about this experience another time, but I know the power of that prayer, of the miracles of the heart. But I want to continue more here about different ways in which cross-culturally we have seen the heart over generations. In ancient Greece, they knew about the heart, and Aristotle said this to his students: educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. There's this book called The Heart of the Buddha. It's this publication by Amitabha Buddhist Association. Serenity and generosity are qualities of the heart. Generosity, stillness, gratitude, happiness, purity of feeling are virtues of the heart. There's a Native American proverb that says this: only an open heart will catch a dream. Listen to the wind, it talks. Listen to the silence, it speaks. Listen to the heart, it knows. And in modern Christianity, in Proverbs, there's a quote that says, as he thinks in his heart, so he is. So the heart is referring to the will that we have. And in Daniel 1:8, it says, Daniel purposed in his heart. And when you put this together, human heart is referring to our innermost being, our innermost knowing. You guys, what I'm saying with all of this is essentially like, let's all get with the program and start actively practicing opening our hearts, connecting to our hearts, because it's everything. It's where all the juicy, ooey gooey, best parts of life and healing are available to us. I have a little heart song for you guys today, naturally. And it's this song by Beautiful Chorus. It's called Please Prepare Me. And I just want to sing the very opening for you. It's my heart reaching out to you right now before I guide us all into this amazing practice that we can do. Okay? This one's for you, kids. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. If you know the song, please sing along with me. Because we're going to sing, you guys. Singing opens our hearts, right? Tricked ya. It's part of the practice. Okay, let's do it. Sing with me. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Feeling your heart is as natural as lying naked in bed. You guys, we've become so good at closing our hearts and shutting those doors and feeling shut down and feeling locked off and feeling distant and feeling protective and feeling competitive and feeling comparative. And it's like, that's all become normal. And none of that is oneness. None of that is the feeling, the essence, the force of love. Love is oneness. Love is connectedness. The good news is that it doesn't take long, actually, to just peel back those heavy doors that we put around our heart and disconnect from ourselves and from the world. It just takes a couple moments, like we're doing here today. Here's my top tips. Other than singing and dancing like no one is watching, or like everyone is watching, however you like to do it. Here's my tip for opening your heart. Let's start with this one. Remind yourself to soften when you feel yourself wanting to harden. This is a mental reframe, right? But it is directly connected to our hearts. We can soften our anger, our stress, our overwhelm, our frustration. They can so easily take us over, right? But if we can immediately just say to ourselves, whew, I am going to soften this. I'm going to relax into this instead. You can think of this actively. It's like a doorway into actively giving yourself and others more grace. Right? We always say that, just give them grace. Just be patient with them. Well, but what's the actual action of that, right? The action is we have to soften. Soften when we want to contract and be hard. Okay? And so that is the practice. And sometimes it takes play to do this. Like we have to move around or dance or just be silly in order to just soften ourselves, right? That's a great way to be able to soften ourselves as well. And it's really, really, really so beautiful and important to surround ourselves with people that help us to soften, who are soft themselves, because it helps us soften into our own hearts, right? So now let's do a little practice together, my dear star stuffs. And the first way we have to get to our hearts is into our body. We got to go down and through into our bodies. So here's one of my favorite ways of just dropping into our bodies. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to feel your bottoms or your feet wherever you are in your space. I want you just to breathe for a moment. Take a breath in and out. Just in and out at your own pace. Connect to this breath, this life force that moves throughout our body, and feeling our body in our space. And now, when you're ready, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to start with an inner space body scan. And we're going to start by going inside our bodies to our inner space, inside of our heads. And I want you just to simply notice, what does the inside of your head feel like right now? Just with the power of your attention inside your space, just notice what you feel. And it's all totally valid. whether you feel light, whether you feel heavy, whether you feel pain, whether you feel great or nothing. It's all valid, okay? But we're going to continue this body scan throughout our body. We're going to guide our attention now from our head into our face. I want you to notice your entire face, all the muscles in your face, your eyes, your cheeks, your mouth, your tongue, your jaw. And just through the power of your own attention, it will start to soften. But you can also actively remember to tell yourself right now, okay, soften, soften, okay? Now we're going to guide our attention into this part of our body, our chest, our neck and our chest, okay? Just to touch it with our attention for a moment. And then we're going to guide that attention from our chest right here down our shoulders into our arms all the way to our fingertips, okay? And just take a moment to do that, to feel each and every one of those places. And now we're going to bring our attention back into our chest, but down into our whole belly, the space between our neck and our lower belly, which is our emotional centers where we feel and process so much of our emotions, energy in motion. Okay? I want you to notice this whole space from your back and all of your muscles attached to your spine, all the way to your sit bones, to the front of your body, from below your belly button and your sexual organs, all the way up to your neck. Feel that whole space with your attention, your focus. And if you're sitting, feel your bottom now in your seat. And rock gently side to side, and then allow your attention to guide down into your hips. Move your hips for a moment. Feel the motion with your attention. And bring that attention down into your bottom, down into your legs, down into your feet, all the way to your toes. And I'm just going to count now back from 10, and I want you on your own time and pace here in this count of 10 to do one more full body scan with your attention from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes, my dear friends. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just simply notice how your body feels just through the power of your own attention and the reminder, if you did, to soften. How does it feel? Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more at ease? Do you feel more open? Do you feel more receptive? Do you feel the same? Are you aware of more pain or aches that you have? All of this is just information for you. And all of it is valid and welcome. But now that we have dropped into our bodies, now we're going to open the door to our heart center. And this is such a sweet one, you guys. This one is one that I taught little children and completely grown adults. It's how to find your heart center. And we're going to tap on our heart center like we're opening the door to our hearts. Okay? So I want you to make the number 1 with your pointer finger. Okay, this is how we find our heart center. I want you to place your pointer finger here in between this little part of your collarbones. Okay, this place at the base of your neck, and I want you to follow your finger down to where it attaches to your hand. And there, on your chest, is your heart center. It's uniquely your space. And once you have found that little space right here, I want you to make like a little soft claw with your right hand, okay? And I want you to just tap on it, okay? That's all we're doing. We're just literally saying, hi, hello, heart, tapping on the door here on our body. And just close your eyes and put your attention there. You don't have to do this hard, but if it feels good to do it a little bit more firmly or a little bit more softly, you do you, boo, okay? You do you. And just keep tapping. And what's also great is when you tap here, this helps to stimulate your thymus gland, which helps regulate your immune system. Yes, opening your heart is therapeutic. It absolutely is, my friends. Go ahead and just tap and just notice how this feels, the sensation of it. You might have emotions come up. You might feel a sense of being clogged or stuck, or you just might feel a sense of relief. Again, anything on that spectrum or in between is totally welcome. Just notice it for yourself, okay? Oh, so good. Now, you can stop tapping, and if you want to, you can keep your hand there open, like you're holding your heart, if that feels good to you. If not, you can put your hand down, but keep your attention in your heart like we did during the body scan. I'm going to keep my hand here because it feels real nice right now. Okay. So now that we're in our heart center, we've opened the doors, I want you to think of someone or some place or even something that you deeply, deeply love right now. I want you to notice if you feel it in the center of your chest right now. Can you pinpoint that? Yes, I can. Feels like a warmth, a glow. And I just want you to feel this love that you have inside of your heart for this person, this place, or this thing. If you want to make this an even more spiritual practice, you can invite in God right now, God or light or Christ or Buddha or Allah or Krishna, it doesn't matter. But you can invite them into your heart with you right now as well. Now this love that you have in your heart for this person, place, thing, or deity, I want you to imagine that love like a bright, bright light deep inside your chest that's like a burst of light, and it's breaking through your chest. But it doesn't hurt, it feels beautiful. And that light is now spreading across your chest, across your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingertips. It's going down your torso, down into your lower belly, down into your sex organs, down into your bottom, flowing into your legs, all the way to your feet and to your toes. And finally, it's going up up your chest to your neck, to your head, to your face, to your brain, to your whole head, and to the space above you and around you, like this beautiful lit bubble. And you and this bubble are the same. You are like a burning light bulb right now. And just sit in this and what it feels like. And when we're in this space, is the space we can actively talk to our hearts as well. We can say to our own hearts, I love you. And I'm tapping on my heart again. That just was instinctively what I started to do. I love you. Thank you. I trust you. I am you. Together, let's connect. Let's connect all the parts here in our body that are disconnected with the power of this love that we hold. I receive this connection of love. I give this connection of love to you. We share this connection of love that never ends, that always expands. And just sit and feel this in your heart and how your body feels as you say these things, as you commune with your own heart, and as your heart feels more open and more open and more open. And it's from here you can ask your heart questions. You can ask for help. You can ask for guidance. But we'll do that on another podcast. But you can sit here if you want and enjoy it right now. And if you want to, it's from this beautiful place inside your heart that you can send out well wishes, prayers, blessings to others in the world. I'd like to do that. You can imagine it just simply going out to the world around you and encircling the globe and encircling the galaxy, if you'd like. You can imagine it going to certain people or places or situations that you'd like it to go to. Or you can just simply offer it all up to something higher than yourself, or all of that. Take a moment and what feels right in your heart for you right now to do. Thank you. Thank you to all of you here with me in this moment, wherever you are. May you know my gratitude for joining me here and raising us all to a higher frequency of love that is available to us at any time through the portal of our open hearts. When we practice opening our hearts, dear Star Stuffs, our hearts begin to unthaw, feelings break down, walls break down, we begin to feel more. We can rest in states of openness more, and eventually we can let loving openness flow outward to everything in our lives more and more and more, that we practice it. And the more connection we feel to ourselves, the more connection we feel to the divine, the more connection we feel to others. When we do this for ourselves, if we give this gift of an open heart to ourselves, then it is generously given back to us, returned to us in this beautiful outpouring and receiving in the world and in our relationships, and with our honorable healing in our humanness. I want to close out our beautiful open heart health session today with the original heart song. This is the one I read to the kids before we did our heart song practice with the Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies program. And it's from a poet, a young boy named Matty Stepanek, who was featured on the Oprah show, who had a whole relationship with Oprah, who had muscular dystrophy, and who had 3 siblings who lost their life to the same life-threatening condition. He met the President Jimmy Carter in his life, and in his short life, he passed away in his early teens. He impacted so many people. But here's his poem called Heart Song. I have a song deep in my heart, and only I can hear it. If I close my eyes and sit very still, it is so easy to listen to my song. When my eyes are open and I am so busy and moving and busy, if I take time and listen very hard, I can still hear my heart song. It makes me feel happy, happier than ever, happier than everywhere and everything and everyone in the whole wide world. Happy like thinking about going to heaven when I die. My heart song sounds like this. I love you, how happy you can be, how happy you can make this whole world be. And sometimes it's other tunes and words too, but it always sings the same special feeling to me. It makes me think of Jamie and Katie and Stevie and other wonderful things. This is my special song. But do you know what? All people have a special song inside their hearts. Everyone in the whole wide world has a special heart song. If you believe in magical, musical hearts, and if you believe you can be happy, then you too will hear your song. Cheers to all you star stuff and your open heart health forever and always. We'll see you next time. So you darling human star stuffs, I want to say thank you so much for joining me here in this space. It's so incredible when we show up together, and really thank yourself for being in a place today where you opened your heart to this experience. If you liked this podcast, heck, better if you loved this podcast, go ahead and share it, spread the good. Send it to people that you think are gonna like it. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things. Write the reviews. Let's spread the good. Why not? And if you want more offerings from me and practices, you can check out my website. It's ashcreatorbeing.com. And there you'll find all my juicy little portals, friends. I got writings on my Substack. I got my practice page. I teach live on this incredible platform, Vivaya Live. You can check that out as well. And you can find my other podcasts there as well. I have the Deeper Dive Creator Being podcast and Spirit Actually, which is about the undeniable truths in our life, the stories of them when we can no longer deny or dismiss that spirit is guiding us. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I will see you next time on the Creator Being podcast with Ash Archambault. Mwah! Love you guys.